The movie wastes no time diving into chaos. A speeding car screeches to a halt as a tire gets blown out, shot, in fact, forcing a group of friends to spill out onto the deserted road. The group quickly assesses the damage, and while everyone seems fine, Jeff notices Rhodey, one of the girls, looking dazed after hitting her head. Concerned but trying to lighten the mood, Sarah whips out her phone for a selfie to strengthen their bond. Jeff, Todd, and Eric roll up their sleeves to replace the tire while Sarah uploads the picture to social media, chatting casually with her brother. But things take a weird turn when Sarah loses her signal. She wanders off to find better reception, just as Karen, another friend, struggles with her own phone. Luckily, Karen manages to locate a nearby garage and informs the group that it's their best bet, but it's going to take at least an hour. That's bad news for Rhodey, who's desperate to make it to her younger sister's surprise birthday party. Determined to fix the issue fast, the group springs into action. Meanwhile, Eric steps away to, well, take care of business. As Sarah continues to wander, she stumbles across something chilling, a small roadside memorial. Panic sets in, and she rushes back to warn her friends, but things only get stranger. Jeff, working on the tire, casually admires their SUV and mentions his uncle has the same model, though it's not nearly as exciting when he starts talking about his uncle's triplets. To change the subject, Todd brags about being in a band and how the SUV helps lug their gear around. Sarah joins Karen and Rhodey in the shade for a chat, teasing Todd when he finally finishes the tire change. But their light-hearted banter is shattered when Jeff pulls the damaged tire off and finds something horrifying, a bullet lodged inside. Before the group can even process this, Todd hears a strange noise. He looks up and sees the punctured tire rolling away on its own. Confused, he chases after it. Meanwhile, Sarah is fiddling with her phone again when she freezes in terror. Jeff lies dead in the dirt, and before she can even scream for help, she's hit too. This time, a bullet pierces her eye. Todd turns to see what's happening, and the group is paralyzed with fear as the nightmare begins. She starts toward Todd, but a second shot knocks her to the ground. Chaos erupts. Everyone freezes in shock, except for Karen, who quickly scans the scene and yells for everyone to take cover. She and Jody duck behind the car as Todd, trying to join them, takes a bullet to the shoulder. Eric, returning from the woods, dives behind a tree stump for safety. The relentless sniper keeps firing. Jody's panic escalates when her eyes land on Jeff's lifeless body. She moves instinctively to run from the SUV, but Karen grabs her arm, steadying her. "If they move, they die," she warns firmly. Meanwhile, Todd glances over and sees Sarah struggling, her life slipping away with each shallow breath. Helpless, he watches as she takes her final gasp. Overcome with grief and fury, he lashes out, only for Karen and Jody to barely restrain him. Once the immediate danger settles, Karen checks on Eric and reassures the group he's unharmed. She explains the sniper may be using a suppressor, which slows the bullets but doesn't weaken their deadly force, adding that he could still shoot through the car. Jody visibly calms, but Todd looks at Karen with disbelief. That's when Karen reveals her background. She grew up in a family of hunters and is no stranger to firearms. Todd takes a beat, then proposes they can't just stay put, they need to make a move. Eric chimes in, suggesting they run for nearby hiding spots, but the group shuts him down. Karen argues that if the sniper could hit a moving car with an antique rifle, running would be suicide. Todd suggests she drive the car, but Karen shakes her head. "The car's in his range. He'll blow your hand off before you even touch the wheel," she says. Then, an idea sparks. Karen remembers there might be cell signals a few yards away. Todd immediately grabs his phone and raises it above their cover, only for Karen to stop him. Jody hands Todd her selfie stick, and he uses it to extend his phone into the air. A signal pings, brief hope flickers, but it's instantly shattered when the sniper destroys the phone with a single shot. Furious, Todd demands Jody's phone next. Before he can raise it, Karen grabs his arm, pleading he is not thinking straight. Todd takes a deep breath, quickly formulating a new plan. He'll try to nudge the car back to where they received the signals. Karen hesitates, realizing that if they lose control of the car now, they'll be exposed. With no cover in sight, it's a suicide mission. But Todd doesn't hesitate. He rushes inside the car. The sniper spots him immediately and forces him to retreat. Still, Todd refuses to give up. He pulls the key out of his pocket, and Karen warns him again, but in vain. His gaze locks on her hoodie. After a tense moment, Karen decides to take matters into her own hands. She'll use her hoodie as bait, hoping to draw the sniper's fire. Meanwhile, Rhodey begins recording a video, hoping to pinpoint the sniper's position. As they put their plan into action, the sniper fires twice, targeting the hoodie, while Todd manages to get inside the car and avoid being hit. He quickly slots the key into the ignition. He's ready for the next phase, putting the car into neutral. But Karen shakes her head, warning him that the sniper won't fall for their trick again. Todd's unsure, but then something catches his eye: their toolbox. With a mix of urgency and precision, Todd grabs the toolbox and prepares to break it open. Just as he does, Eric's voice cuts through, questioning their plan. Todd reassures him they're sending help, but Eric's face falls as the reality sinks in: he's being left behind. Todd apologizes, but Eric turns to Karen and Rhodey, desperate for answers. Their replies reveal the harsh truth: if he tries to escape, his chances of survival are slim. Karen isn't convinced their plan will work, but Todd persuades her: moving the car just a few feet might be their only chance. With a reluctant nod, Karen agrees. Todd shifts the car into neutral, but the sniper's shot rings out again, hitting him. Karen and Rhodey struggle to hold the car in place, but it's a losing battle. Despite their efforts, Rhodey is left exposed, while Todd and Karen scramble to catch up. Fear grips Rhodey's chest, but somehow, the sniper doesn't fire. Karen realizes the sniper must be reloading. "Reloading time!" she yells. Rhodey bolts for safety, heart racing. But as she reaches cover, Eric makes a desperate attempt to escape, only to be shot. He tries again, but the sniper hits him in the leg. The sniper seems to toy with him, watching as Eric struggles. Karen, thinking fast, guides him, telling him to tie his leg to stop the bleeding. Karen does her best to keep Eric awake, but he eventually passes out. She checks Todd's wound, heats up the hammer, and uses it to ligate his injury despite his pain. She calms him down, easing his suffering. After a moment, Todd notices a water bottle. Karen uses the hammer to retrieve it from the car, and they all share a sip, feeling a moment of relief. Eric stirs awake, and Karen tosses him the bottle, letting him have the rest. Just as he tries to drink, the sniper shoots his hand, preventing him from drinking. Meanwhile, the sniper is seen calmly sipping his own water and eating, as he takes aim again. Later, Todd notices crows feasting on Sarah's body and shoos them away. Karen, still mourning, looks at their last group selfie. Rhodey pulls out a picture of herself and begins singing, "Happy Birthday," and Karen sings along. Todd joins in, then confesses he lied to Jeff about hauling his band's equipment. He shares how Sarah once got pregnant, and despite their fears, they planned to start a family. He sold his bike and bought the SUV, along with a baby seat and crib. But during the ultrasound, they learned the baby had no signs of life. Todd stands up, heads towards Sarah's body, and gently covers her face with a kiss, mourning her loss. Rhodey and Karen wonder why the sniper hasn't shot him. As Todd lies next to Sarah, Eric stirs again and notices movement nearby. Karen and Rhodey see it too, and they guide Eric's attention toward it. Expecting help, they're shocked when the movement turns out to be a wolf, leaving them stunned. The wolf approaches Eric, sending his friends into a panic. Todd, desperate, hatches a risky plan and provokes the sniper, but then spots a car in the distance. Hoping for help, Todd tries to signal the car and alert Karen and Rhodey, but the sniper forces him back, scaring off the wolf. Defeated, Todd sits beside Sarah, only for the sniper to kill him mercilessly. Karen and Rhodey spot the approaching car, carrying a family, mom, dad, and their young daughter. The mother notices the bodies on the road and begins to alert her husband, but a shot from the sniper wounds her hand. Chaos erupts in the car, leading to a devastating crash. Despite her injuries, the mother tries to reach her daughter, but the sniper ends her life. The father regains consciousness, drags his wife to safety, and attempts to communicate with Karen and Rhodey. Karen manages to guide him to call 911, but the sniper, realizing the threat, shoots the car's fuel tank. As the father desperately works on the call, Rhodey tries to warn him, but Karen stops her, insisting the call is their only chance. Moments later, the sniper ignites the car, and the helpless girls watch as the father burns alive. To make matters worse, the daughter regains consciousness, only to be killed instantly by the sniper. Overwhelmed, Rhodey insists they flee, but Karen comes up with a plan. She remembers soldiers use smoke grenades to block snipers' vision. At night, the two girls flatten the car tires and cut them into pieces. Karen sneaks into the wrecked car, tears the seats, and scatters tire fragments around. Meanwhile, Rhodey collects engine oil and drags their cooler for water. They take small sips, relieved to find some. Later, they set the car alight, forcing the sniper into a frenzy. Karen realizes the sniper's bullets are penetrating the walls and tells Rhodey to hide behind the engine. The two argue over their safety, and Rhodey makes Karen promise they'll leave together, no matter what. Their conversation is interrupted when a police car arrives, carrying a sheriff, deputy, and two snipers. The police snipers search for the shooter, while the deputy struggles to contact the station via radio. He switches to his phone but has trouble connecting. Before he can act, the sheriff grabs the phone and is shot by the sniper, terrifying Karen and Rhodey. The deputy tries to take control, but the wounded sheriff slumps over the wheel, sending the car lurching forward. One police sniper falls off and is promptly killed by the shooter. With no faith left in the cops, Karen tells Rhodey to leave and runs into the smoke. Moments later, she realizes Rhodey has followed her. Karen tries to keep running but is shot and collapses. Meanwhile, Rhodey sprints toward the now-stopped police car. The deputy pulls the sheriff out and checks on Rhodey, confirming she's unhurt. The sniper, ever precise, kills the remaining police sniper. Rhodey begs the deputy to leave, but he recklessly takes another shot and is gunned down. Desperate, Rhodey jumps into the car and drives toward the sniper. Despite being shot in the shoulder, she rams the car into the tree where he's hiding. The impact leaves the sniper hanging upside down, but he manages to free himself. Rhodey grabs his gun, and as he approaches to finish her off, she shoots him 4 times, dropping him to the ground. When the gun jams as she tries to finish him, Rhodey uses it as a club, smashing his head. In a chilling moment, Rhodey notices tally marks etched on the gun, counting the sniper's victims. She delivers a final, decisive blow to his head, but the gun discharges, striking her in the throat. Rhodey collapses, laughing and crying, as the movie ends.